So today's webinar is going to be on our new feature called Selective Bidding here at MGID. And just to introduce myself, my name is Brett. I'm a sales account executive with MGID. I joined a year ago. I've been selling content and product sales here. Today I'm going to lead you guys on a special webinar dedicated to the launch of our new feature that we're calling Selective Bidding. Selective Bidding is now giving you the ability to manage your traffic sources on a website level. So we've been tagging every website with IDs. Normally your account manager may have been able to do some of the work, or you can do some of the stuff in the self-serve, but this is a brand new analytical tool and way to optimize your campaigns. So this gives you the ability to manage traffic sources at the website level. Just a little bit about MGID. So MGID is one of the global pioneers in advertising. We consider ourselves a portal where we connect thousands of websites around the web and their advertisers. So we have about 3,000 websites. We're adding, I'd say, anywhere from 30 to 40 new ones. Some drop off due to quality, so it's a constant process. So we're hovering, anywhere, I want to say around 3,000 to 3,500. Some are apps, most are websites. They have below content widgets, right rail widgets, mobile, desktop, tablet, pretty much every traffic source, and we're able to filter by those. We specialize in offering tailored solutions now for advertisers, affiliate marketers, e-commerce, which is your shopping. We're doing some big things in shop pretty soon. Webmasters, these are anyone that pretty much owns and runs a website, hopefully with either monetization or something that they want to get out there with some messaging. We work with a lot of web marketers, people marketing products, brand managers on the brand side, and mostly performance-driven media buyers and publishers. And we try and do this on one giant platform, integrate all the tracking, integrate Google Analytics. That's why we call ourselves essentially a portal. Next, I want to explain the Selective Bidding feature and how it works with some examples. So I got some terms here that I want to go over fast. This is CTR. This is click-through ratio of an ad unit. It is multiplied by a cost per click, just so we can make a little foundation. And our rating is CTR times CPC. This is just some information to preface what we're going to be discussing. And CPC is the CPC of the ad unit and the coefficient of the traffic source website. We'll get into that. And just to kind of preface, we're going to say that we have bids of around 20 cents on what we're bidding on in our platform. And we have a website where we have an ad unit, and we're going to publish the coefficient value of 2 in our sample. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to be going over, the final CPC for the ad will be around 40 cents and a 20-cent bid, and we're running at a 2x multiplier. So we're normally at 20. We're going to say, okay, you can bid to a 2x multiplier, and our bids will now be up to 40 cents. So I want to show you how this is all going to come into play. So Selective Bidding, it's a tool for advertisers. It takes traffic source optimization to a whole new level. Now you can target specific websites within our network and generate more traffic and better performing sources while making the low ones a little more profitable as well through some optimization. We're trying to replace outdated blacklisting and whitelisting practices and create, some of a new optimization habit. Every marketer who's ever tried to optimize their campaign knows that it's very frustrating going publisher by publisher. So we're trying to give you the tools to make this as simple as possible. This is our new technology. Hopefully you can expand your traffic sources. And really, in order to understand how it impacts, I want to demonstrate how we can do it we have 2 case studies. So slide 1, I went over the ratings and how to read all this. And we can use this tool to essentially decrease the bids, by these multipliers, which I'm going to get more into detail. Each website that we have in the system is going to be assigned a bidding multiplier. And I will show you this in the control panel in a minute and see how we start off. And it'd be null with no multiplier if it's a 1.0, just to preface. 0 is not null. So 1.0 equals the starting default value, and you can customize that to your needs. For the bidding practice we're going to be increasing the multiplier or decreasing the multiplier accordingly to the statistics once there's some data built, and we want to focus on the higher performing websites that we can get more traffic from. Working with the smaller websites, it's just it's a lot more lucrative for everyone's time to work on how much traffic's coming from. So for case study one, just to kind of go over what we wanted to show you, prior, so you can see the perks of this. This was a U.S. 30-day campaign. We've driven a line where we've shown where the changes are made. So these were done on the 12th. The coefficient for two big websites were increased to 2.0 and doubled the CPC. So basically what we're saying here is that we changed the multiplier for two of them, and we increased it from 1.0, its default value, to 2.0, and it essentially doubled the CPC, and we drove pretty much double revenue. If we were at 150, we're now up to $350 in profit, maybe 250 on average, where before we were around 125 on average. So using this process, we've increased daily volumes of traffic 2.6 times in this case study. We rose the income 3.2x, and we raised our ROI by around 40%. So this is where, the optimization, bidding higher on the better performing websites, maybe lower on the lower performing, and really doing some optimization, you can get better traffic. We're also going to show you case study 2 real fast. This is the geos that were run. It was a 30-day campaign. It was launched. It got a couple of conversions, a couple of revenues, and then you can see after optimization, we see some major changes. And this is on a selective bidding for a dating website. So we have multipliers for big websites on here. So high traffic sources were increased from 1.0 to 2.0, and then the coefficients were decreased to 0.07 for 500 performing publishers. So we also lowered some on here. We still like the traffic. We were still getting conversions, but we didn't want to bid as high on them. And then we excluded a couple of publishers that were just really not bad performing. So this one, after optimization, on what I'm going to show you, being able to use this selective bidding, we were able to increase daily traffic volumes by 2.5, increase income by 4, and ROI went from 95 all the way to 170. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. And I want to show you next, how we can make these changes, how we can optimize campaigns real fast and kind of see what's going on. So inside your dashboard, you're going to see a new button. This is selective bidding. This one is inside just a generic test dashboard. You'll see it in the lower right-hand corner of your advertiser campaigns. You're going to see statistics, settings, ads, block, and now selective bidding. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my browser right now, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about how this looks. So once again, this is in a live panel. Just connect this over. You can see, I just left this open, we have selective bidding on every campaign. So we're able to go in here and selective bidding. Inside, this is where we can see, I want to run through this whole little dashboard panel real fast and explain what's going on. We can see the details and the nitty-gritty. So we have widget ID. This is your widget, where it's placed. We have coefficient. So this is what we've been discussing. So 1.0, which we have right here, this is a default. You can see it has no explanation or the little caution sign because no changes were made. Any change that's made for the positive or the negative will now have a coefficient, and if you hover over it, you get to see when that change was made. If it was made a month ago, if it was made last week, so you can see this one's from 10/9. This one was done 7/7. So this one here, just to we'll walk through the rest, we have our hover over. So our hover over is going to tell you the max bid, which you can adjust. All of these are adjustable by clicking on the actual value. So I want to show you how that works. You can adjust it through here. So we have this section right here is our coefficient with our max bid. It now tells us that we're bidding up to 10.50, and this is in cents. So this is 10 cents and a half a cent, and then these are all going to be different multipliers, coefficients as we're calling them in the system, and they're essentially going to be from 0.08, 1.2, 1.7. So you can see this one had an average CPC of 9. We were happy with that, so we wanted to bid higher. We had a lot of conversions. We want to try and optimize this, so we raised this to 1.7 inside of the control panel. You can turn these moving forward, so we have spent. You can see how much was spent. So the ones you spent a little more money on, if you want to sort by descending, that might be a good way to get started. And then all the ones that have the yellow caution signs, those are the ones that can change. We can look at those, and we can start to optimize the ones that we haven't touched yet either. Average CPC, this is what you're spending right now. So if you do the math, 5.38 at 1.5, that's we're getting to 1050. Somewhere around there, you should be able to balance these. But we're spending around 5, and we're going to bid, 150% on that. So we've been, maybe up to 10 cents at sometimes. And these are all going to be relative to what you're spending and your return, and you can justify the modifier. So on here, we're going to go through, keep on moving, average CPC if you want. You can see the average CPC. You can sort right now by conversions, and then conversion cost is just more data, so it's not something you can sort by. Anything that's a sortable column will have little lines, and then you can be able to click on that. And if you want to turn the source on or off, you would just move the little slider altogether, and we can flip that back on or off. The default value, I just want to emphasize, we can go from 1.1 to 10 on the coefficient value. And just as a caution, we don't recommend blocking the same placements for different offers, countries, or so, as it can work very well for one country and an offer landing page may not work for another. So it's always, we want you to be able to test everything, down to the grain. So please try and test everyone individually. Don't apply one set of standards to another country. Everyone's behavior is different. If we look at some of the websites that were blocked, we just want to show you that we can sort by the status of the website, the current coefficients, and the date. Up top, we're able to change these if there was a change or an original, and then we can sort by date as well. So for the current offer, we had a CPA goal of 8. So that's where our conversion cost and money, we're shooting for 8. And we want to show you a little bit how to look at the data and analyze everything. So we recommend blocking the website only in the case that if they've already spent the budget equal to the expected CPA. So once we have maybe 160% of our goal, that's when we want to start to look at it if it didn't bring any conversions. Or if there were absolutely no conversions at all, we want to start to look at this. If you're spending some money on it, no matter how you're buying it, it's always good to start looking at it after you've spent 120 to 160% of your CPA goal. So in this data, we can see we have a couple we can block, 3, 7, 8, 2, 1. I can sort by that, 3, 7, 8, 2, 1. This is one of the campaigns that I'm going to filter down to. This one I've been listed as one that we can block. So you can see here we're way over our conversion cost by double. We've had 4 conversions, but our CPC is too high and we spent $61. So we've spent way too much money. We haven't done anything as far as the multipliers, but this one is just non-performing, and we can block these right away just under basic instant. And there's a couple others. 5, 7, 9, 4. Just to give you another example of one that probably shouldn't stay in the system too much longer. It's just wasting our money. So this one as well, we're at $33 conversion cost. So we might want to decrease the coefficient and actually go down to 0.07. And this will help us kind of optimize. And now in this screen, we have maximum bids. This is where you can go back and check the ads. We just want to click on OK for this and upgrade. So this should go in within 24 hours, or I want to say in the next day. If you decrease it, I think it goes through, I want to say correctly the next day. If you increase it, it might go through within the hour. Eventually those will, just keep in mind they're not real time, but they'll go into effect either within 1 hour or the following business day. So here's how we've, lowered the coefficient. We've gone into the ads, we've looked at the data, we see we've had 2 conversions. It's just costing us way too much money. Our average CPC is 5. We want to be a little lower, I want to say, on the average CPC side, and our spend has been way too much on this, so we're going to decrease the maximum bid coefficient. And after we change it, we're going to receive that notification. So you want to make sure that you receive notifications from the system. And you want to make sure you have enough data on here. So, run it a couple of days. I find the weekends and the weekdays generate different figures, different mentality of how people are browsing the web. Some campaigns may perform very well on the weekends, so people have a little more time, or they're just in a different mood. So we also need to work on the proper decisions, have sufficient data on traffic sources. So this is where we want to be able to use these date ranges. You can export the data to third party. You want to have enough data to look at this. And we also work with other tracking systems as well. But we prefer to have everything in ours. It's one panel, one portal. You can see everything in one place. And if you have any suggestions on things we're missing, please do email us or contact us on our Facebook page, or through support, or contacting your account manager and give them some of the features that you want. So going back into the selective bidding, let's make sure we've covered all the items in the test demo account. So in here, as I've shown you, we've gone into the individual campaign. We've looked at the individual items up on top, broken those down. The main new features is coefficient with the max bid, where we're able to use the selective bidding to use these multipliers to bid higher or bid lower, kind of optimize on a per widget level. The optimization that we're doing and changing our CPCs and how much traffic sources. And this can really increase your ROI. It can, pretty much make or break your campaign if you're able to use this down to a more granular level. So on here, just to recap, we have widget ID, coefficient. We have 1.5 on this one. Caution sign is telling us that a change has been made. We have our tooltip. We have number of clicks to that ad. That unit is generated, the spend, our average CPC, conversion costs, and we're able to turn it on and off. And you can import and export this data as well into another platform. So here we have up to 91 pages for all of our different 3,000 publishers, each one. Like I said, you want to really focus on websites that have exceeded the CPA of 120 to 160%, didn't bring any conversions, or ones that just generated enough clicks that we're able to make a good assessment on. So in conclusion, to kind of keep things going, the selective bidding has helped us in this case to increase the amount of sales. If we're doing any kind of conversion goals, we're going to be able to optimize on the sources that are bringing us conversions. I've shown you, one way we're able to exclude poor performing websites by lowering that coefficient down. We can make all the websites under the user IDs that we're getting traffic from profitable without shutting them down originally. We can change the multiplier to bid lower on them and still get traffic from them. So now we've given our advertisers full control of the traffic sources, and we can effectively customize your bidding strategy website by website, which was not something typical before. Networks usually allow advertisers the same bid for all publishers. Sometimes the option to change it for geo-targeting. The option of managing the traffic sources on the network level takes MGID selective bidding to a whole new realm, this new feature set. The main advantages that we're trying to accomplish here are the ability to attract more visitors or conversions from your most profitable websites. So if we're not doing that, please let us know. We're working on this nonstop to make this better for the client, to have better targeting, and to bring you guys the best ROI possible. We also want an opportunity to manage the diversification between MGID publishers in the campaign, increasing the profitability. So this also helps publishers get better ads. And then we do have some recommendations just on how to facilitate this properly, which I will leave up. So we have One is set the higher multipliers if you want more traffic from a website. So if you are getting good traffic and you want to keep those CPCs rolling, you want to do 2.0 or more. We only want to block the website in case that they exceed CPA. And like I said, we're going to use our rule of thumb of 120 to 160%, and didn't bring any conversions. And then we'll go to the right, focus on bigger websites that have higher volumes. The smaller ones really doesn't affect them very much. So that's why we're giving you the ability to sort in dashboards. You want to either sort by clicks, conversions, or money spent. However you're assessing your ROI. For most people, it's going to be money. So like I said, focus on the expected CPA goal and match that up if you're running CPA campaigns. Try and sort by ones that bring you the higher traffic. Just deal with those first, let those run. Maybe the smaller ones will build up. We also want to specify that you only want to decrease the bid if they've already spent the budget equal to the CPA. And if it's higher than 70%, didn't bring any conversions, then we can start to decrease. If you have any questions, you should have an account manager, or we have support at MGID.com, our phone support, and you can always contact someone on our behalf. This is done at the Los Angeles office today, where we're in, well, it was 100-degree weather. It seems to be cooling off today, but we're located at MGID in 1514 17th Street. In Santa Monica, and our phone number here is 424-322-8059. This is mostly for sales. Our support is either done on the web or through live chat or through your account managers. This is not a support line. This is just if you need to reach someone in an emergency or at PST hours. Sometimes you can get a hold of one of us and we can start to facilitate it. Maybe your credit card is not going through, we can reach out to someone. But most support should be done through the online support and technical assistance. And you can reach us online at MGID.com. So I'm going to leave... see if we've had some chat discussion as well. I'm going to leave the chat open for any questions if anyone has anything right now. And pretty much turn off the screen. Thank you for being a MGID Selective Bidding webinar.